Hello everyone and welcome to episode 157 of Report This Post, the podcast about bad posts and bad people. My name's Geiger and that is Christian.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
And we are your hosts with the posts. Every week, Christian, myself, or a listener select a different topic and then find horrible posts for your listening pleasure. This week's topic, a real gem, chosen by a listener named Hobbled, is Israel.
That's right.
The quote-unquote country in the Middle East.
What is a country? It's a strip of land, right? Is that what it is?
It's colonial terrorism or something. It's colonialism. People say that word a lot, so I'm going to use that one.
Okay, that works.
It seems to be the new word instead of just saying, like, before you just like call someone like racist or bad or something, but now it's like colonialist sort of like covers all sorts of stuff. So that's what I get called often, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it against Israel as well.
According to Simple Wiki, it's a country in southwestern Asia on the eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea. So
Asia?
That's what they're claiming.
I've never once considered that to be an Asian thing. Israel. Asian, come on. Don't try and claim some sort of inherent goodness. It's bad enough you got going on over there. Whatever's going on over there. Read a lot of tweets about it, so probably an expert at this point.
It's not based on a child's cartoon series or comic book, so hasn't really piqued my interest much. So.
Yeah, there's no expansion pack for the Zelda game where they're in Israel, so I don't give a shit.
Great.
Anyway, it's a contentious issue, this Israel versus Palestine thing. People will just go off all about it. There's various protests and marches and whatnot. But as for me, I'm just here promoting the live episode we just did over on patreon.com/reportthispost. It was our 3rd anniversary. We had a bunch of wonderful listeners join us. We had a guy who printed out a post to read it, which was pretty great.
Nathan, thank you so much. That was probably the highlight of the show.
First time in Report This Post history that someone's read a post off of a post, an actual post, which I find to be interesting. Only for our patrons is that shows up there now to listen to the video and audio. If you want to, video is really where it's at. We had some good imagery in it that you're gonna really miss out on if you don't watch it. Other than that, we also have merch. We rarely talk about it. ReportThisPost.com. There's a link to the store right there. Just click on that and then buy some stuff. You can also buy an episode topic. Someone just bought one today. A real fun topic, which you guys will hear in a couple months. And then when it pops up, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was the one he was talking about, the real fun one."
So all the ones up until that point are going to be not fun.
Not fun at all, including today's episode, the topic of Israel. Now, why don't we just go ahead and get started? We got a whole bunch of good Israeli posts here, whatnot. I'm sure that these are going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Great. So diving in, Rude Bush, spelled like the beer, B-U-S-C-H, asked, "Israel, our friend or enemy?" over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
As a white nationalist, I've always remained in a state of confusion of which side I should support in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Israel is, of course, the Jewish state, and I hold highly negative views to the Jews for what they have done to Western society. But I can't bring myself to support Palestine either, because they're Muslim, treating Christians like dirt, backing the Muslim invasion of Europe, and the destruction of European culture. AGD88 replied, "Seriously?" with 5 question marks. "The filthy Jew is always the enemy. A nation full of the parasitical Jews as a friend of the white nationalists? Why would they be a friend? Regarding the Jew or the swarthy Palestinian, well, the Jew always gets the first accommodations on that sweet, sweet railroad boxcar to the internment camps. The swarthy Palestinians would be next. Regardless, both would be going. Neither is our friend." Interesting to note that this person has a signature on all of their forum posts, which reads, "Aryan Graphic Design Portfolio Blog. Pro-white graphic design and illustration. Aryan Graphic Design supports Stormfront contributions."
Boy, we're both in graphic design. It's hard to find your niche sometimes. And this guy really, he found it. And I found one of his works of art here. Let me just pop it right in the chat here for you. I think we have a chat. I don't remember how this works. Yeah. Now, if you click on it for you, it's another thread on the Stormfront. And I'll just say, in terms of the actual graphic design,
Get the hell out of here.
So, what he did was, it appears to be like, the classic shot of The Simpsons when they're sitting on the couch in front of the TV. But he made some additions. And I'll just say that they're no longer called The Simpsons, they're called the Negrosons, I guess is the name. Homer has a big black beard and what looks to be, what is that in his lap there? That's
Mad Dog 2020.
Yep.
Purple.
Yep, purple drink. You have Marge is very dark with black hair and what looks to be like a very dirty tube top. The kids are all decked out in various clothing. They're just cockroaches all over the place. There's a gun leaning against the wall. The design itself is pretty poor, I gotta be honest.
It's not great.
This is clearly done in, looks to be MS Paint.
I will say though that the watermark buckwheat approved Otay in the lower left corner is a nice touch.
Is an interesting addition.
Holy moly.
Reach out to AGD88 folks if you need some various posters and your manifesto needs a cover. You're worried about going to Fiverr for it. Just reach out to this guy. I'm sure it'll help you out.
That sucks. Great.
So, I found an interesting video titled, "Israel expels 8,000 African immigrants because they threaten Jewish identity." Didn't watch the video myself, but I did discover that it was shared by user Miss Aussies over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
User Free Speech Advocate said this: "Want more ironclad evidence that Jews run the media? If a white country did this, it would be all across the media, and they would be foaming at the mouth saying how evil and racist they were. But because it's Israel, a Jewish state, there's hardly a peep from the media. No screams of racism, no screams of ethnic cleansing, no screams of genocide, nothing. Total hypocrites." Yeah,
sure.
As a free speech advocate, I think he's onto something.
Well, I mean, perhaps it was shown on Israeli media since it happened, in Israel. So, very narrow worldview is what I'm going to say on that one. This is somebody that thinks everything that happens on the news is seen by everyone and vice versa. So
that's kind of how it is from pretty much anyone that complains about the media. It's like Media would never cover this, when they're, quoting something in the media that's about the thing they're saying the media would never cover.
Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it on my Stormfront RSS feed, so it must not have hit the big networks. It wasn't on Bible Broadcast News or whatever the hell that thing is.
That sounds good.
Oh, sure. Sure, I just made that up. So, Hey, well, anyways. Reynolds SG posted my visit to Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum and Memorial Museum in Jerusalem over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
As part of a tour group to Israel, our group was taken to Yad Vashem Holocaust, spelled hollow, Memorial. Modern buildings, beautiful violin and music, and even a light show. But Holocaust critics would not find anything different here in the ways of evidence. Trust me. And this is the flagship of Holocaust memorials. Artifacts, quote unquote, like old Stars of David, old passports, and letters. And just what is a pile of old shoes supposed to mean? Aerial reconnaissance photos taken and interpreted from thousands of feet up. And thousands of, quote, refugee photos, unquote. Since when is a photo of an unknown person a historical artifact? Yad Vashem has its counterparts in Paris, London, Berlin, and even Florida. Thousands of names are simply engraved on stone. On one memorial with first and second names and birthday only. In other words, the most important clues are missing. There are no dates of the deceased. I noticed a stack of affidavits for Jews to fill out saying that they were victimized during the war years. We are talking old Jews whose memories only now are going back decades. He came back later and added, I'm pretty certain that a paid Anti-Defamation League shill got me banned for life from another white forum. What is the truth? The truth is that they cannot win because irregardless of who is running what, the message is still getting out. They cannot control a white forum without our message getting out, or it wouldn't be a white forum. What's important is the information we present to the public.
I'm very curious what white forum is
what
upset
other
this
white forum
anti-Jewish stuff. That's interesting. He says white forum in quotes, so he probably doesn't think it's a good white forum. It's like Stormfront.
It's my second favorite website that I can no longer go on to.
Well, as soon as you get even just a taint of non-whiteness in there, it's over. Just like human beings in general. Yeah. User Hunt This Polar Bar created this very interesting thread over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
As a role-playing exercise, I am going to LARP as an honest Jew Zionist and explain their plight to you all. Goyim, we need your help in Israel right now. I know we have 100% support from your politicians, but public opinion is turning on us, and we need your support now more than ever. Now, I realize we have been hard on you Goyims lately. We have been flooding you with Muslims so that you wouldn't be strong enough to do another Holocaust. But Goyim, our strategy has backfired, and we are awfully sorry that we did that to you. You remember the Holocaust, right, Goyim? Well, we had to steal Palestine so we would be safe from Nazis and fascists rising to power again in Europe. Well, we are at a bit over our head, Goyim. These Muslims refuse to let us live in their land in peace. I know you have fought and are still fighting many of our wars for us, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, and we really appreciate that, Goyim. But Goy, we're going to need you to attack Iran for us next. They are getting too powerful and have nuclear weapons. I know that we stole our own nuclear triggers from you, USA, but we are really sorry, and we want to make it up to you. So, Goyims, here is our message. If you support Israel and defend us from the evil Muslims, we will, 1. Allow you to speak out against Muslims in your societies. 2. We will allow you to counter white privilege arguments in the media. 3. We won't push homosexuality in the military as much. We cannot stop the immigration because we cannot face another Holocaust, so we apologize about that. Also, you are still not allowed to talk about Jews. However, you will gain the 3 concessions we have promised you. I think that is a pretty good deal, Goyim. You like making deals, right?
Oh, my God.
And this little interesting exercise received 0 responses, as I guess it was deemed a little too weird for even the folks over at Stormfront.
not big purveyors of irony over there. So, yeah, and this guy's just jacking off furiously while typing all of this out. Just like this will show those wily Jews if they ever come over here and read this.
Would love to do a. Sometimes people do like those LARPing in the park things, like to see this guy walk up with the yarmulke on and everything. Just like, I have some fun LARPing I want to do with you guys. Like, oh, man.
Now, I'm going to do a voice during it, but it is part of the character.
Uh-huh. It's like, yeah, we're doing more like a dragons thing. I don't know, whatever. This thing you got going on is just...
Well, I am kind of a goblin of sorts.
Oh, you need me to be a goblin? No worries. Well, this Israel episode's a real hootenanny, isn't it? There's a whole bunch of great posts regarding the quote-unquote country of Israel, written by all sorts of fun people online. I think you're probably sensing a theme with what we're doing here. If you want to hear the entire episode, you got to go to patreon.com/reportthispost. It's $5 a month, folks. You get the full episode every week, plus you get a bonus episode every week where we read even worse posts that are all about all sorts of topics, from people being racist to people being even more racist, and it's just a lot of fun. Possibly even more diaper stuff and people pissing and eating cum and shit and all the great stuff you'll love to listen to at work while you browse the internet looking at bad posts. Ironically, boy, what a time we live in, huh, folks? Patreon.com/reportthispost. See ya.
Great. So, CSM 101 started the thread. Netanyahu declares Israel to be the nation state of Jews, not Israeli Arabs, over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
Added to that post, and what if Trump suddenly declares that all Americans have equal rights, but that the United States of America is a nation state of white people and only white people? Matt White America commented, if a white nation declared this, they'd be called racist and the entire international community would attack them. Seems unfair.
Mm-hmm.
And Loyal White Knight added, I hate to admit this. It kills me to say this. But Israel is one of the most successful countries in the world because they are using a form of National Socialism. I hate to admit it, but it's true.
Wow. You gotta hand it to them. Those Jews are the best Nazis around, I guess, is what this guy's getting at.
They learned from the best, folks.
Hey, sometimes you need to be have your enemy reveal his hand before you can best him later on.
It brings me no pleasure to report this.
Yeah,
the Jews have become what we want to be.
Like, I hate this, man. It just sucks. They're so good at it. Like, the thing we really want to do so bad to them, they're like so good at it. Ugh.
Oh, I'm so mad. God, but damn that boy good.
Just like him online saying like, the fucking Israelis are Nazis, and people are like, whoa, what are you talking about? He's like, I know, it sucks, right? They're Nazis and they're great at it. This is the weirdest Twitter ban ever. Like,
it's not exactly anti-Semitic, but
it's kind of pro-Semitic in a weird way.
It's almost too supportive of a statement. Your account has been limited due to having too supportive of a view of Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, a very odd Zionist take, for sure, that they're so damn good at what they do. Well, I found a fun article titled, Tel Aviv celebrates largest gay pride parade in the Middle East. Tens of thousands danced in Tel Aviv streets on Friday to pulsating music as the city celebrated its 11th annual Gay Pride Parade. Tel Aviv, also dubbed the region's gay capital by the tourism industry, has tens of thousands participate annually. And this article was shared over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
User Celtic Man added, with gay pride parades and all, what a better way to raise birth rates than to allow gay pride in a nation? Israel is a gay state. A gay state cannot be a nationalist state as the birth rate declines. User The Australian added, birth rate declines? Good. That's what we want from Israel. And user Spoon added this, I totally support Jews, sodomites, and dykes. The less the parasites breed, the better.
Happy Pride Month from all of us at stormfront.org.
Again, another weirdly positive way to talk about Israel.
Still not great.
In fact, I would say it's a horrible, but in some way you can appreciate what they're getting at here, I guess.
They're being civil about it. In a way, so yeah, good for those guys.
Tipping their cap to the gay pride festivals over there.
And yeah, Jew sodomites and dykes. Can't forget the dykes.
You always forget about them. It's about time.
Now, a dyke's another name for a wall, right?
Is it? Is that what that means?
I think so.
Well, isn't specifically like a dam?
Yeah, sure. A big stone wall. And speaking of stone walls,
big beefy broad
with an ankle tattoo. Someone shared a news article. President Trump prays at Wailing Wall to stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
Germatian replied, Trump is worse than even the Jew whore Clintons. What a disgusting liar Trump is. Like he stiffed his business partners, he stiffs his voters now. Western democracy, the dictatorship of Wall Street, and the Israel Jews, Trump is a Zionist whore. It doesn't matter if you vote. There is nothing to vote for since the Jews own both parties, Democrat and Republican.
Well,
the USA has become a Jewish republic ever since the funding of the so-called FED in 1913, a colony run from Jew-occupied Palestine since 1948. Hitler is right for any freedom-loving and self-respecting nationalist. What's that guy been up to? When's he going to come back? User Clarn asked, why is Trump wearing the little Jew cuck cap on his head?
Oh, man. Again, more, anti-Trump comments is, you don't expect to see a lot of those over there. And this guy, you're like, wow, it's weird he's actually kind of outspoken about it. Now, perhaps his beef with Trump is not what most people's beef with Trump would be, but...
Yeah, it's a little different for sure. Yeah, I'll give you that.
He comes at it from a different angle. And I think that's important. The Democratic Party, it's a big tent. You need as many viewpoints as possible.
More like you need as many clowns playing this 3D chess, right? Those are words I've heard.
Yeah, hell site. That's what I say. That's what I say to all this stuff. It's all a big hecking hell site.
Doggo woof. That's right.
A couple years ago, a Japanese tanker was sunk off the coast of Oman. Source close to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said, there is not definite proof that it's Iran. Even if it's the United States that makes the assertion, we cannot simply say we believe it, he said. If having expertise sophisticated enough to conduct the attack could be a reason to conclude that the attacker was Iran, quote, that would apply to the United States and Israel as well, said a source at the Foreign Ministry. And this exciting slice of world news was shared over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
User Reichforce added, Historically, I despise the Japanese, but if they start naming the Jew, I will be grateful.
Okay.
User Fonz asked, so why do you despise the Japanese? To which Reich Force responded, in WW2, 2 men in my family were killed by the bastards. The Japs are also prone to sexual perversion and sadism as demonstrated by the rape of Nanking, the invention of sex robots, the mass popularity of pedo-porn comic books read by adult men, used panty vending machines, etc. To which user Einkatzgruppen responded, as far as sexual perversion, you must not know your own culture very well. Ever heard of Drag Queen Story Hour or the bathroom debate which has gripped the USA? At least Japan's weird stuff is reserved for adults. Here in America, they use public money to openly brainwash children to be perverts.
Wow. Yeah. That's an interesting take for sure. Yeah. To be fair, though, I saw hentai way before I ever came face to face with a drag queen. So maybe Reich Force is on to something there. I don't know.
It is interesting that he sort of put it aside like, well, two people in my family were killed by them. But really what's more important is that they're perverts. He spent a lot more time talking about that.
And if the enemy of my enemy starts naming them, then you know what?
I do like that. Hey, if they start naming the Jew, he will be grateful. Grateful's the word he used.
It's not the best outcome for me, but it's something. I mean, a win's a win.
You know what?
I've been batting zero.
I'll go to
lately.
bed feeling good that night. My head on the pillow. Like, well, at least, those bastard Japs. They've done so much against me, but they're throwing the Jew under the bus. So
historically, historically, things that happened well before I was even born have affected me up until this day, and feed my hatred for the bastard Japanese. So.
Reich
Really
Force,
good.
Great name. Great name.
It sounds like a band. It sounds like
should
it
be.
would be like a hair metal, like white power hair metal band.
I also like the guy being like, "Hey, why do you hate the Japanese?" Like, come on, man.
on a white nationalist. Hey, hold on a second.
Come on, brother.
Have you ever seen Dragon Ball? Can I ask? May I ask you?
Great.
Well, a discussion was started regarding Israeli-born Gal Gadot being cast as Wonder Woman over on the boards at Stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
Here are some comments. Rona Renegade replied, "No strong woman I know hoes for Hebes. Gadot is an Israeli who belongs in Israel with the rest of the criminal cowards." Vox Phantom commented, "Her body proportions look borderline hermaphroditic." And Skullcracker replied, "Putting her name in the search engine, I would tend to disagree. To me, she looks borderline anorexic. She's very skinny. If she lost a few more pounds, she would look really horrible."
Mm-hmm. I think she could drop a few more myself. But
Yeah. Well, one of the arguably most attractive women in the last 20 years, and she looks like a skinny hermaphrodite, according to these guys.
yeah, she was Wonder Woman, huh?
She sure was.
Now, have not yet to see any of that stuff, but
There's some funny... in the second one especially, there's a scene where there's like some Arab kids playing in the middle of the street, and there's like a out of control car, and she like swings in and picks them up, and it's very like, okay, like it's like very heavy handed, like propaganda kind of thing. Like, look, our Israeli lead just saved these brown children from getting run over by a military vehicle. Isn't that great?
I would say it is great, yeah.
It's like, but the best part is it's just like the scene didn't have to be in the movie. They just added it in because it was like, oh God.
Well, they were worried the runtime wasn't wasn't enough.
Yeah, they needed to get it to 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Yeah.
So that everybody could be happy.
Oh, boy. Is there going to be another one of those?
Oh, I'm sure. She's under contract, so I can only imagine.
Great.
There'll be a whole bunch, probably.
Well, a lot of people think Wonder Woman and those sort of things are feminists. Found a very interesting article on the New York Times titled, "Does Feminism Have Room for Zionists?" Written by a woman named Emily Shire. Sadly, this article was shared by user Eric Roper over on stormfront.org.
Stormfront.org.
These are the sort of things that occupy the minds of the folks at the New York Times. How do you reconcile the most racist, oppressive state in the entire planet with left-wing politics? The Jews have played the victim card for centuries, but in the end it is all about them. Not, quote, inclusiveness. That's the sort of thing a stupid Swede should do, not a Jew. Israel should be Jewish. In South Africa, they used to call things like the two-state solution apartheid. But, oh well, Jewish double morality is so ingrained in our culture, we must just learn to live with it.
Again, this guy's like right on the edge of like, oh, they're doing the same thing. He's like so close to like breaking through and like having like this epiphany, like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But then ending it with like, but oh well. Just like just ramping up and then just completely flatlining at the end. Oh well, whatever. Yep. Can't be bothered. Don't care.
Why was Swede? What's he about Swedish people for?
You know, I don't know. I think that's because they have an open policy for immigration.
Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. Yep.
So they just kind of like let anybody in their country and have zero issues with it because people just come and do what they need to do and then head on off when they're ready to. So
I heard it was a hellhole, though.
No, I think that's the conservative take on it because it's a socialist country. So, and, seems to be a very lovely place. Ooh,
we had a Swedish guy on the show before, Bill.
Sure, yeah.
You could hear the war zone behind him when we were recording, talking about The Office.
When he was staying up till 3 a.m. Before going in as like a school teacher, so that he could record the Office episode with us. Yeah,
yeah, not a bright population, but
hey, but I tell you what, wake up in the morning, you have like a nice Radler with breakfast. Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, or 7 or 8 of them, as we do here in America. As we Texas-size things over here.
And get on your one-speed bicycle and go down your cobblestone street to your shopkeeping job.
With your goodly wife nearby.
She's sweeping the dirt out of the house. she's wearing the babushka. She's waving goodbye. Yep, that's great.
She's 4'8", 600 pounds, and the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life.
Head like a pumpkin on her, but damn, she can cook. She's a lovely woman.
And the dome she gives. Oh my God.
Okay, great.